Hello, everyone. My name is Travis Woodward from S&P Global Commodity Insights. In the run-up to our World Hydrogen event on July 8th to the 10th, I have the pleasure of speaking with Yoshinori Negishi-san from ENEOS, who is going to be one of our key partners at this event. Uh, Yoshinori Negishi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Yoshinori Negishi. I'm Group Manager for Hydrogen Supply Chain Planning Group within ENEOS. Thank you.
Wonderful. How did you get into the hydrogen space? I mean, obviously, you've entered like a very, probably Japan's largest oil company. And obviously, it's a side business. But do you have a background in hydrogen? What brought you into the hydrogen space?
Mhm. Actually, I have been working on the oil and gas upstream side of the ENEOS group for like 10 years. But ENEOS has decided to recruit internally some people to work on both domestic side and the overseas side of the hydrogen business, as ENEOS has realized hydrogen as a key contributor to the decarbonization journey of the Japan society and ENEOS itself. Then I have transferred to the hydrogen business department back in 2020. And I have been working on the upstream side. Therefore, I have applied my expertise in the upstream development to the hydrogen business development. That's the journey, how the journey has started.
Very interesting. And you just wanted to raise your hand, wanted to try something different within the greater business?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that occurs quite often recently, as the company needs to transit from the oil and gas to the low carbon energy business and the decarbonized energy business as well.
So that's a good transition point. What is the strategy of ENEOS in terms of hydrogen and energy transition? Maybe you can speak just generally about that.
Sure. ENEOS is a Japanese energy company, and we have roughly a 50% share in the petroleum products in Japan, fuel products in Japan. And therefore, we need to respond to the needs from the society for the energy transition. The Japanese society aims to decarbonize itself by 2050. Likewise, our company has such a goal. Hydrogen is one of the key contributors to the 2050 carbon neutrality, and our hydrogen business strategy is to fully scale up the commercial hydrogen supply chain from the 2030s based on three strategic pillars. One is the scaling up of the hydrogen supply for the transportation sector, especially FCVs. And the second is the expansion of local production and the consumption business model within Japan in the areas where abundant renewable energy exists. And the last is to establish an international hydrogen supply chain. In implementation of these strategy, we aim to leverage our existing refinery assets and also some technical expertise, including our proprietary technology, direct message technology, in order to reduce the cost and enhance the viability of that strategy and supply chain.
Very interesting. So I guess I have two questions about the strategy. I know that the
Sure.
Japanese and not just the energy companies, the Japan in general for a very long time was very interested in they built all these hydrogen fueling station and having fuel cell vehicles. Where is ENEOS at that point with that? Where is Japan with it at that point? Because it was probably the main piece for hydrogen in Japan for a very long time. And only recently has sort of the derivatives and use in other sectors become more of a topic, say in the last five or so years. Can you speak a bit about the mobility piece?
Sure. So the mobility piece, Japan has traditionally led the, especially the technology development in that space, as far as I understand. And especially in the commercial vehicle side, some car manufacturers have been leading the manufacturing, designing, and manufacturing of such vehicles. Now, I think the from the learning from the past business, the industry or ecosystem is focusing on the commercial vehicles. The commercial vehicles are relatively large scale road transportation vehicles, especially trucks and buses. In such business regions, the payload is quite important. Therefore, it is hard for EVs to serve. Therefore, there are some spaces for hydrogen-based vehicles to serve the society's need. That's the pathway that the Japanese hydrogen industry is heading to in terms of the strategy. Japan's METI has recently refreshed the strategy for commercial vehicles and has selected some focus regional areas to intensively invest in the infrastructure, including the commercial vehicles themselves and the hydrogen supply infrastructure, including hydrogen stations. Therefore, we are aiming to respond to that shift from the policy side.
Got it. My other question then is about the carrier that you're using. Maybe you can speak just first about your choice of hydrogen carrier. I know that's part of your strategy and your plans for that.
Sure. So generally speaking, there are three types of the hydrogen carriers. One is liquefied hydrogen and ammonia, and lastly, organic hydrides. And we are focusing on methylcyclohexane, which is one of the types of the organic hydride, because it particularly brings some synergies with the existing refinery infrastructure, including, I would say, the loading and unloading infrastructure, and tanks and some refinery assets that can serve to support MCH infrastructure. MCH shares common characteristics with some petroleum products in its properties. Therefore, it makes MCH a practical choice. As the society is transitioning from the gray or fossil fuel-based economy to cleaner fuel-based economy, using existing energy infrastructure is critical. Therefore, ENEOS is aiming to use methylcyclohexane as the primary vector for hydrogen carrier. Also, ENEOS is developing its own proprietary technology called direct MCH, and this technology will be very cost effective. Therefore, we think that it is going to further strengthening the appeal of the MCH.
So yeah, in terms of MCH, who are you mainly targeting for offtake then? Is it going to be for internal consumption? Or is this going to be something you're going to commercialize and sell to off-takers?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very interesting point. In Japan, as you may know, Japan is restricted in terms of the land availability, and industries have been developed along the marine side, the coastal side. Therefore, industries are gathered together. That is also the case for the refineries. Therefore, refineries are located very closely to other industries such as steel makers or chemicals or sometimes power generators. Therefore, our goal is to receive the methylcyclohexane and dehydrogenate methylcyclohexane to retrieve hydrogen and use within our refineries, as well as distributing through infrastructure to nearby industries. It is going to be the most efficient and effective way to help decarbonize the society.
Okay, so you're mostly going to be using this to decarbonize your refineries.
That is one of the options, but we also think that it can also help decarbonizing the adjacent industries. Therefore, it is, I guess, aligned with the Japanese industrial policies, but it is, I guess, an efficient way to decarbonize the industry, not only ourselves. That's our basic strategy.
Well, maybe you can talk about your suppliers and where you think you might be sourcing your hydrogen from. Are you going to be doing that with your own facilities, or are you going to be getting that from third parties?
Sure. For that, we believe that partnership is quite important. We are looking at some potential sources from renewable energy. Therefore, we are looking at some renewable energy abundant countries like Australia, India, US, Middle East, and also some Southeast Asian countries as well. In these countries, we need to partner with energy providers, and that is going to be the most efficient and most effective, most robust supply chain. Therefore, we think partnership with the energy provider in the exporting countries would be critical for our supply chain.
So does that mean you're focusing more on electrolytic hydrogen as your source, or is it just do you not have a preference between green and blue?
We don't have any preference over the color. However, the carbon intensity would be quite important. Methylcyclohexane is a liquid product. Therefore, it can be stored more easily than other hydrogen derivatives or hydrogen carriers. Therefore, it can respond to variable renewable energy input more easily than other hydrogen carriers. Therefore, there would be some synergies between MCH and green energy. Especially the direct MCH technology that we are developing is a type of electrolyzers. Therefore, it would be able to respond to variable energy input. Therefore, the synergy with the renewable energy, variable renewable energy, would be strengthened. Therefore, the combination would be more important.
I see. How much are you looking at a domestic production within Japan? I know that in Hokkaido and in Oita, you have some general plans, I think, for some domestic production. Did you choose these sites because there's excess renewable energy in those areas?
Sure. Hokkaido and Oita are the regions that we are developing the projects. And these are the areas where surplus renewable electricity is beginning to emerge. They've got abundant renewable energy resources. So by utilizing these excess powers, ENEOS can contribute to stabilizing the power grid, while also we are able to advance hydrogen production. Therefore, we are developing some projects there.
And what would you say your target ratio is from domestic production and importing of low carbon hydrogen and MCH?
That's an interesting question. I would say as much as possible from the domestic resources, and the large volume should come from the overseas, because of the limited nature of the renewable energy availability in Japan. So we may be able to develop some projects in Hokkaido and Oita, but hydrogen by its nature is difficult to transport. Therefore, in order to serve the market in the key industry areas, such as some Western Japan industrial ports and Eastern Japan industrial ports, we may need to import hydrogen from overseas countries.
Great. My last question is, what are you looking forward to at the World Hydrogen Asia sessions in July?
Sure. I'm very looking forward to it. From the the current state of the hydrogen industry, the collaboration is essential as a catalyst for the growth of the hydrogen market. This event is being held in Asia for the first time, as I understand. So we expect it to be a very valuable opportunity for strengthening collaboration through networking. And there will be key people from diverse group of public and private stakeholders from both importing and exporting countries. Therefore, there will be valuable meetings that we expect to happen. We also look forward to discussions on the latest development in technologies, projects, and policies across various regions. We hope to learn many things from these advanced initiatives from various countries. Likewise, we hope our discussion will contribute to someone's decarbonization initiatives as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time today, Negishi-san, and I look forward to seeing you in Tokyo in July.
Thank you. I look forward to it too.